a PowerPoint presentation just to try to encourage you guys to show off your talents, to submit your academic work that has not been published in other journals. We have a brand new Southern New Hampshire Social Sciences Prospectus Journal. If you've not heard, the Criminal Justice Journal is already up and being formulated at the present time. We currently have 5 submissions. We're looking for 5 more submissions. We're looking for really things in anything in criminal justice field. However, specifically courts, corrections, parole, probation, sentencing disparity. We have everything we have so far is on police. So we're trying to get something other than police or a different aspect of policing. I had a very interesting conversation this afternoon with Dr. Melvin, who's going to help us out and join us the CJ Advisory Board editorial committee. He brings in a different viewpoint on policing from an international perspective. So if you have something different, it can be, we had Dr. Sean Williams produce a great piece that's published in the journal. And it's about a 17-minute, correct me, Dr. C, if you will, presentation. It's excellent. So if you have something, it doesn't just have to be writings. I produced an article recently on the origin of policing in the United States from the slave patrol to the Homeland Security era. So if you have something else, I'm glad to see Dr. Rob is on here. He is one of our contributors already. Thank you, Dr. Rob. You did a great job on your article and your piece. Anybody else? Good to see Dr. Brown here. One of my I believe is my lead this semester. Great job there, Dr. Brown. We appreciate you. So we have a lot of talented people we talk about every day. Please do not be bashful. It is not just Jeff, Hector, myself, Dr. It is everybody. We need everybody to contribute and submit whatever you have. I would love to read what you have. I don't know, I've told Dr. Hector somewhere on here, but we're going to get together this week and formulate our proper procedures with the peer review process so we can share them with you guys. But it's not that difficult to have your article published if you choose. And this is something that goes, you can put on your CV, your curriculum vitae, goes on your resume as you're building your brand. And we all want to build our brand. That's something we have. So I appreciate the a few minutes there, Dr. Jeff. I'll give it back to you. But please just hit me up. My email address is there, and I look forward to hearing from some of you guys. Thank you much.
Thanks, Doc. And Derek's doing a great job for us. It's really a lot of work, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And I really think it's going to pay off. So thanks again, Dr. Derek. Much appreciated and whatnot. So I don't want to turn this over to everybody for the next 20 minutes. It's really critical. I think one of the best things personally and strategically is to find out what are you doing that's working. Just name one thing. Got a lot of people in here, so I'm going to do the best I can to go down our list. We've got a great turnout. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to do this, but I do promise a hard stop at 1900. At 1900, I'm actually interviewing the first of a series of women professionals in criminal justice. Yes, I am poaching from our great roster. And so we'll be doing 15-minute, basically, call them interviews, but their experiences as women in the field. Mo, you're going to be on the list. I promise, and I will send you chocolate cake. So anyway, let's start with you, Mo, because you're right at the top. One thing, and I have a pen in hand too, one thing that works, one thing you do that works, and a lot of things you do don't go notice. They don't leave footprints. No? Mo Oglesby, you're on. You're the star. Can she hear me? I think she's looking at me bewildered. That's how my wife looks at me half the time. All right. If Mo comes back, we'll get it. All right, let's go. Dr. Doug, you're here. Go right. You're up. One thing that you know that works consistently for you.
Well, I was going to text Mo and let her know that she was up, but we stay in contact sometime. Gracious, as far as classroom or coaching?
Yes. What instructional strategies, whatever you deploy that you know works, students love it, and they persist.
I'll tell you, Jeff, I really, you do all those things, announcements, blah, blah, blah. But right. I think it's really connecting with the students. I think listening, knowing your students makes a difference. I think that's the big one thing.
Beautiful. Let's go right to Dr. Rob. Dr. Rob, you got the mic. I can see him thinking. Rob, you're on mute. Well, we'll come back to him. I see Joe Cole just popped up. Joe, great instructor. Great to have you in the family here, Joe. One thing that works, it gets those students across the finish line.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I've found that just really being involved with the discussion and making it personal has always worked for me. Since I first started it, I've always gone, if I'm not 100% on the discussion, I'm very, very close all the time. And I'm not saying I say that humbly. I'm proud to be here. I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm just giving an example that I've had several students say to me, wow, I really noticed this, like almost like it took them back a little bit. And like I said, I'm not looking to turn this into something negative or toot my horn here, but that's what really works for me.
You're supposed to toot your horn, Joe. It's okay. It's okay for cops to brag. Let's get that through everyone's head, all right? You're much too humble. The work that I'm telling you, the work that you do should let your light shine. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
On behalf of those students that are scared out of their minds. Let's move over to Tim Craig. Tim Craig off in Cyberland. You're on mute there. A cyber expert, and he's on mute. Can you figure that one out for me? He's talking. I can see his lips moving. You're on mute. Almost there. Let us know when you come back, Tim, so we'll keep moving. Let's go to Kelly Kalin. I see Kelly in Chicago. You have your mic up, Kelly? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
I'm sorry if it's loud. I'm sitting at my kids' gymnastics class. Communicate. I will often reach out to students that I see kind of like fall off or are doing exceptionally well, just to say that I notice them or that I'm here if they need anything. Just constant contact with your students.
Thank you, Kelly. That's great instincts, and thank you for all you do profusely. Let me see. We'll move over to Mike LePage, the chief. If you can hear me, I don't know if he's got his mic on. I see a lot of people don't have their mics activated, so that may be my bad. I see Alan Poland down in Florida, ex-NYPD and whatnot. Let me go back up to, let me see who else is around here. Let's go to Dr. Derek. Dr. Derek, you're on. You've got a mic. What's one thing that works?
Okay, well, look, I appreciate Jeff coming back to me. I would say the positive reinforcement, even when students are doing well, they need to hear it. And then how can I articulate this? Then, and Dr. Doug probably could jump in and say whether I'm doing this well or not. I try to have positive feedback that's not per se positive. Just to say, hey, thank you for your response. However, make certain that you are adhering to APA 7th edition format. You can't just write a response without speaking it. It's not common knowledge. We don't know where to get this information from. I just try to go slow because I know everybody doesn't understand APA 7th edition. Half the instructors probably don't understand it. It takes a long time to go through it.
Yeah.
Every class they give, I take it. I want to know what's going on in it. So it's important to me to reinforce. Even when they don't do it right, I still have some positive aspects. So just try to keep it very positive here. Somebody said, I think it was Kelly, reaching out, extending that olive branch to students that might be having trouble. I get a lot of students to come in later and say, hey, I was having problems. And then stay for 2 or 3 weeks. I can't help you if you're not doing it. I'll be that encouraging comment at the end of the announcement to say, hey, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, just reach out to me. Let's finish strong. Let them know it's our class. We're doing this together. You're not by yourself. We're as a group, as a team.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. I think Mo is up with the mic. Mo, is your microphone on? I'm going to keep trying here. Mo Oglesby. Calling car 14, Mo Oglesby. No.
Jeff, I was just talking. We've been texting. I apologize. Mo is. We can hear Mo. I just heard her when I called her.
All right.
But,
okay.
But Mo can hear us.
Oh, well, what a lucky person. Nonetheless, that's okay. Well, if you can glean one thing from her, she does a lot of great things. Tim, did you get your mic to work over there in Cyberland? He didn't get his mic to work. How about Dr. Rob? Going right back there to see if Dr. Rob's mic is working. And while we're waiting for Dr. Rob, how about Chief Nolan? Chief, can you? I think I hear him.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
Success, you're on.
Well, if you can hear me, I've got my volume up to 100, and I can't see anybody anymore, and I can't hear anybody. And I've checked all the mutes and everything's unmuted. So
Don't worry about it,
I
Mo.
don't know what to do.
Neither do I. That's okay. No stress. Take a deep breath. Now let's go back to the chief and let's see what works for Chief Ed Nolan, retired chief.
Jeff and team, I've created a spreadsheet
Yep.
that I record student personal information they wish to share in the week one discussion board.
Wow. Okay.
And then I use that appropriately in my responses to their discussion posts. And I find that personalization really draws them in.
100%. Like I tell everybody, if I've ever talked to anyone here on their preterm Kool-Aid call before you started jumping into the fire here, is that I've never read an end of term comment from a student that said, I love Mod 5. That essay was great. No, they said, Professor Cole, Professor Oglesby, they reached out to me and they were very personal. They were encouraging. They, whatever, it really, that's what matters to them the most. So thank you for that. So I saw the chief. Thank you, chief, for that. I don't know if Rob he's in and out. I know maybe some internet issues. We're not strangers to that, and it's real tough. Anyway, long story short, I know what I do. I'll give you a little sample of what I do in the discussion boards as an example, and this validates to them, that I actually read what they wrote. So what I'll do is I will copy and paste and put in quotes something that I consider to be viable or valid or poignant. And I'll say, hey, I really liked what you had to say here. Would you expand on that to challenge them a little bit? And that they're a little bit surprised because not everyone is a fantastic criminal justice instructor. We know that you're inheriting students from other classes where the instructors may not have the same level of heart, compassion, time investment, and all that you and positiveness like that Dr. Eric has. It's all of you have. Not all of them are like that, as you well know. Okay. And a lot of students, they come in enamored with the grade, et cetera. I'm a 4.0. How come you held me accountable to this? I've never been held accountable. But I want to thank all of you for standing your ground. If anyone's not heard me say this before, I have your back on grading 100%. Students fail themselves. Okay. And you're demanding excellence. And what I tell everybody to be the most, and I preach this till the day the cows come home, this is the most writing intensive discipline we have because we can never be misunderstood. And I live by that, and I know that you all do the same. So if a student is using slang, colloquial, they're not citing that type of thing, really there is a direct correlation to success in our field. Good news for anyone teaching CJ 112, the APA asset is coming back, being redeployed next term, where the Mod 1 discussion board actually has them discuss the importance of APA and its relationship to the profession, right? And so we saw some success with that percentage-wise performance and basically reducing the fear and angst over having to figure out what APA is. A lot of students think it's a headache or a skin rash. It's not, it's how we write. So it's coming back. I want to thank you all for the support on that. That's great stuff. I don't know if anybody else has anything you want to throw in the chat, any one little thing you're doing. I know if anybody met Dr. A. Vasquez, I don't know if Dr. Abe is here tonight. He does some great videos. I know a lot of you use video lectures, encouragement. I don't know if anyone uses Screencast. There's a free version and a cheap one. I use that myself. A lot of you do too as well, to give them video feedback word by word visually and audio and auditory for their assignments. And you point out all the stuff that's going wrong. Don't worry about it, Tim. If you get something, throw it in the chat column. This is really what it's about, to try to feel, what's really working. Not everything that counts can be counted. And that really, I want to say pisses me off, but it does, because you know why? I know that you get rung up if you miss a discussion board, right? Yeah, I see some nods. Or you missed a grade or a zero, all the custodial stuff. All right. And then you do all that. You're on the phone with a student for an hour and a half, trying to walk them through an assignment and talk them off the railing. And then all of a sudden you hear from another dean that said, hey, you missed a spot. Wow. Okay. Well, remember, when you get those, if you get those, it doesn't mean it's a death knell. It doesn't mean you're done. It's nothing of the kind. I have your back 110%, and I will go to the mats for you. Okay. So that's why it's important to someone. Oh, she's in early. So that's why, I lost my train of thought. Long story short, I want to have your back. I want to reinforce to anyone else who doesn't know how well you're doing, what you're doing that hasn't been counted. Please let us know. Let your light shine. Okay. That's what I mean. Let us know what you're doing in the classroom. those things. And if and if you think it's worthy of letting everyone know, send it to Dr. Derek for the journal. Okay, because it does.
And if you've already sent in one, send in another one. I'm working on my second one, Dr. Rob. Come on, Dr. Brown. I want to hear from you guys. Come on, Chief Nolan. I know you got some good stuff for me. I want you guys. Come on, don't be bashful. Come on, Kelly. Let's put some. Come on, Mo. Let's put some stuff out there. Let's make CJ the best, because they're gonna get ready to release anthropology and psychology and sociology coming up. We already have a head start. Let's get on top. Let's be the #1 group discipline in the social sciences. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. William brought up an interesting point. Well, if you can elaborate on that. William Cox brought up, I have a blurb in my instructor that prohibits it. I'm not sure what you're referring to, William. And thanks for the great work you do. The accolades that your students give you are incredible.
I appreciate that.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, great.
No, I was here the whole time. You used like to skip over me every one of these meetings like I don't exist. All these other fine doctors, you got the little master's guy sitting in the background.
Oh, yeah, so, you figured me out. Oh, boy.
So 2 things though. I find they don't read announcements. Number 1, I have a student I'm working with right now that I'm trying to avoid my second academic referral for plagiarism. And so one of the things I put in my instructor is that there are outside study materials and you're still expected to do original work. So if you use them as a reference only for what you're trying to do. Do not use that material. And twice now in this class and possibly a third one, I've had that happen. Okay. So I make that very clear, at least that. But the thing is, announcements don't get read very much, especially in a 112 class where they're like, what is this? You know, what I do have working in this class for the first time, it's taken 9 classes to get there, is I do a weekly video chat. And I have 4 students that have been actively participating every week, 2 hours on Wednesday. And we cover current events, we cover things in the news, we cover the personal lives, upcoming assignments. And they have demanded that we continue this after the class, even if we have other people from other classes joining. I'm kind of excited to see where that goes.
That's awesome. That is great. Wow. That's a tremendous amount of work. Thank you for that. And some light just came on in here. This place is haunted. Thank you, William. And it's not the gobbledygook after anyone's name that drives home teaching. It's compassion. We know that compassion drives content. So thank you, William. You're not at the bottom of the list because oh, God Almighty. You know what PhD stands for, right? They say pile high and deep. No, thank you. Don't have right. But thanks, William, for sharing that. I think Chris popped in someplace. I'm trying to catch things on the chat. And if you have a microphone and I just don't see it, shout it out. Or just come up on mic and share, some of the cool things you guys are doing. I'm hearing somebody.
It's Rob Daywalt.
Hey, there you are.
I'm sorry. They were saying we have solar flares or something today, and I had a terrible connection. It was in and out, and so I had to go out and come back in. But I wanted to point out or add 2 things, if that's okay. And I got 2 doctor's degrees, but I hope that means that I can still talk too. I don't know what that means, but anyway, yeah. Kindness.
You want to sell one?
Yeah. Well, it's all for sale now, apparently, what I'm getting from students, But more kindness has helped me, I think, a lot.
Yep.
Because you can have some frustration, no doubt about it. And sometimes you can let that show, and that's not good. You got to avoid that. But I had a guy that started out, and it was it was in this session, this term. Yeah. And he's like real provocative in his discussion boards, how it started out. And I had to talk to him about it, and I talked to my team lead about it, a little bit concerned. And it kind of political in a sense, but borderline. And I just kept going back to the guy and talking to him and just trying to be kind. And he suddenly, out of all that, he unburdened himself to me. He really did. Told me about his terrible childhood, all these things. He can still be a little different at times, but man, we got a much better working relationship now. I just feel like that persistence and kindness. In other words, be persistent in being kind. That's about all I got, but just wanted to share those guys. I love working with all you guys. This is my favorite thing, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. And I wish there was a better way I could show appreciation other than, the prolific thank yous all the time. But that's where, like I said, you're doing these great things. And the best we can do is recognize that great work too. Okay. Because you hear if you miss something. So I don't want to beat a dead horse there. But if you hear, again, all these great work should not go unnoticed. So let your light shine, everybody, on that. And if you do have students that, Rob, you negotiated quite well on it. You're an expert at that. But don't go it alone on some of these. I get I get looped in on 3 or 4 very difficult issues that instructors field each and every term. Suicide, or there was a homicide in the family. You just can't make it up. Some of the events are just absolutely unequivocally tragic, but you can't go it alone. So the Help You team, they did 3 tips. A couple weeks ago. Anyway, they're phenomenal. They got a wonderful team. And they've handled over 500 referrals over a very short amount of time. So there's a lot of students who need a lot of help, and there's only so much you can do. So don't hesitate to loop me in, refer them to help. You get the hold to Help You people so they can help you out with this. So you're not going alone on this. All right. And a lot of these things do have some legal ramifications. We have disclosures. You can't make it up. So remember, there's plenty of support out there for everybody. Okay. You don't have to go this alone. We have your back, myself and Derek and Hector too. We got a great team. If you get a chance, stop in every once in a while. If on a Wednesday evenings, we do the 8 o'clock, 15-minute faculty meetings. They've been very, very good. I am working right now. Wish me luck. I'm working to qualify attendance of those meetings as CEUs. So I'll keep you posted on that, because a lot of the topics that come in do support instructional strategy, design, professionalism, and all that stuff. So with that said, I've got about 4 minutes to a hard stop at 1900 hours. Does anybody else have any last minute comments or whatnot between now and then? And I'm sorry if I missed anybody. That's I try to manage this the best I can. But thanks for a great turnout too. Well, with that said, I hope everyone's well and safe. If you need anything, they're only a cell phone call away or a text message 7 days a week, anytime, night or day. And I mean that, okay? All right? And people say, you're out of your mind, Jeff. I said, yeah, it's a nice place to be. So long story short, my 5 minutes with you can save you 5 days of agony, okay? Please understand that. We have your back, myself, Derek, and Hector. We have your backs. And thanks for having ours, too.
Absolutely.
We much appreciate it. All right. So with that said, Derek, any last words of wisdom for anybody as we continue to beg for people to bring stuff to the journal?
I want to ask you guys, but we have one of the things Jeff says to me that I couldn't agree more with. This is probably the most talented faculty I've worked with, and I work everywhere. Trust me, I work. I'm not even gonna shout anybody else out, but this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, and I work everywhere. This faculty is excellent, A+. It is 5-star and some more. So please do not be shy. It is not for Jeff, Hector, myself, Sean, Rob, Doug, and Ed to produce. Let's everybody, all these talents. Come on, Joe. I want to see something from you, man. I'm hearing this good stuff. Come on, Kelly. Send me something. I'd love to produce whatever you guys have. Put it out there. Let's make the Criminal Justice Journal the #1 on the social sciences. That's it. Thank you guys much.
And just to let you know, Derek works at 35 different universities. We're number 34. have curriculum, have CV will travel, right? No, thanks, Derek. I'm just teasing.
Oh, man.
All right, everybody. I did record this, so I'll send
36,
it out.
not 35. It's 36.
36. I listen. That's why I became a cop. I can't balance a checkbook. You want math out of me? That ain't happening.
Yeah, I'll take it easy, okay?
All right, everybody. Please be safe. Stay in touch. Let us know what you need. Happy end of term coming up.
Happy holiday weekend for everybody. That's your thing. Happy holiday weekend, all you guys. Take it easy.
Yes. Have a great Easter. Thank you.